Hello, my name is Sherron Watkins, and I was a former vice president of a company called Enron that is now shut down. Well, before I get into all of that, let me tell you a little about Enron. Enron was an American energy company that was based in Houston, Texas. We were started in 1985 and began selling gas to gas companies and businesses. In 1996, energy markets were changed so that instead of gas being sold by companies at a fixed price, it was sold at a more competitive price. Enron then became more of a middleman in the energy business by instead trading energy contracts. Well, you probably want to know what happened to Enron and why it's not around today. Let's start from the beginning. We began growing at a rapid rate, offering internet services and financial contracts, but in order to keep growing at this rate, we needed to borrow money and invest into new projects. However, this extra money being owed by us did not look very impressive from a business standpoint. So Enron instead created partnerships that would allow for the debt to be kept off of our books. One partnership that we made was with Chuco Investments. This partnership allowed for us to keep $6 million of debt off of our books that we shared with the government and the people who bought our stock. This made our company seem a lot more successful than it actually was. Enron was doing fantastic as we had tripled our profit in 2 years. Then the collapse struck. We lost $638 million from the failure of the internet investment. I found accounting methods that could eventually lead to the discovery of the Enron scandal. The whole company went under investigation and we finally had confessed what we did. Actually, I'm the one that confessed what we did. We had lied about how much we made, saying that we made $586 million more than we actually did, and that we owed $6 billion in debt. Enron declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy shortly after. The Enron scandal was actually very important. Now, because of what happened to us, people were more worried about their money in stocks. They did not want other companies that were doing well to end up like we did. People and investors had to rely solely on the honesty of accountants. Now, companies had to be a lot more open with their books so that the government could keep an eye on how well they're actually doing. Enron basically drew the questions of, are investments safe and how trustworthy are accountants? The people that worked at Enron are all at different places today. Some have it luckier than others. I myself am giving speeches at colleges and schools. Jeff Skilling, however, does not have it the best, as well as Michael Cooper, as both of them are in jail for fraud. Some other employees of Enron are also in jail. Many other of the employees had lost a lot of money, including most of their retirement money. Almost all the employees had their money invested into the Enron stock, and when Enron went bankrupt, they had lost all of that money. And no, Michael Cooper and Jeff Skilling do not have a get-out-of-jail-free card. Enron had a huge impact on the accounting industry. Because of the Enron scandal, the Sarbanes-Oxley Act was passed. This act set up a new enhanced standards for all U.S. public company, boards, management, and public accounting firms. This act was put into place to restore public confidence and trust in financial statements of companies. All publicly traded companies had to follow this act. This act allows for investors to trust their money going into stocks and the trust of companies' financial files. Because of this act, people could invest again and actually trusted their money going into stocks. Now that you know a little bit about Enron and what happened to it, let me give you a little bit of what I did there. But first, let me tell you who I am. My name is Sherron Watkins, and I was born on August 28, 1959, in Tomball, Texas. Getting started, I went to the University of Texas and got a Bachelor of Business Administration degree. I got my first job in 1982 being an auditor at Arthur Andersen, one of the used to be 5 major accounting firms. I spent 8 years there and moved on to a New York-based MG Trade Finance company in 1990. After leaving this job, I finally joined Enron in 1993 and soon became their vice president. In 2002, I was chosen as one of the 3 People of the Year recipients by Time. I was known as the whistleblower of Enron. This means that I had exposed the illegal activity of the whole Enron scandal. Or I was just known as a tattletale. I was, however, still criticized for not speaking up earlier, but at least I was one of the people that did it. To date, I speak at colleges and schools on my experience at Enron and business in general. I have written a book, Power Failure, the inside story of the collapse of Enron, that you should all buy and read. Thank you.